Well, I'm pleased today to welcome to the stand Brett Deacon and Tom Voyce. Tom, perhaps I could start with you. Before the end of November, we have 3 Premiership matches, 2 Heineken Cup matches. Would it be too dramatic of me to suggest that at the end of November we will know exactly which way our season is going?
Yeah, definitely. We've actually labelled the next 10 games as a big game, as a massive game for us. You know, at the end of those 10 games, it's going to determine our season. You know, with the LV, Heineken Cup, and also the Premiership. So it's an important 10 weeks. We need to make sure everyone's on their feet and not injured, and you know, dig in when it gets tough, and hopefully come away being in all 3 competitions at the end of it.
Brett, those matches start today with Saracens. They're the champions. They've started off well this season. How do you see today's game unfolding?
I see it as probably so far the hottest game that we've had this season so far. Saracens obviously champions. We've got a big point to prove, losing the semi-final last year to them, and the boys are ready for that. And we've got to go out some hard for the first 20 to really get the game going.
And Brett, they're well, they are the best away team in the league. We're the best home team. Something's got to give. Do you see it expanding it slightly, a tight match, or do you see there being a bit of flamboyant play carrying on out there?
I'm not sure. I think initially it'll be pretty tight, but we've actually finished quite well this season in games, so I don't expect it to open up later on. But you know, the guys are really up for this game. Saracens have had a lot of chat on the social networking this week about our home record and how they're going to take it away from us and all this going on. So the boys are pretty quiet. Hazy rang with this morning. Have you seen what these boys have been writing on Twitter? I said no, I've not seen it, and he was shouting effing and blinding down the phone at me, so shame he's not playing the game. But yeah, it's a massive game for us, and the guys are ready to go, and I expect it to be a hard battle.
Tom, after today we move to Exeter. We all know that we win at home, we lose away. But Exeter, despite their good start to the season, that's got to be a chance to start our away form, get rid of this bit of a monkey on the back, if you like.
Yeah, it's been a large. Hello. Yeah, Exeter is going to be it's going to be pretty tough. I mean, I think we've had 9 losses from home. You know, the thing is that they're going to be a tough team to go down to play, and you know, beginning of last season, I wasn't involved, unfortunately, but you know, we didn't do ourselves proud down there at all. We kind of let ourselves down, and probably a lot of the Gloucester people around us as well. So we've got to make sure we go down there and firstly put in a good performance, and secondly hopefully come away from a win. But yeah, I mean, we do need to start, you know, pointing up away from home, because we just can't rely on this home record to keep us in the top 4. And when you go to places like Toulouse away and stuff, you know, in Heineken Cups, you've got to pick up away games if you're going to qualify. So yeah, it's a massive ask, but we've got to rise to that challenge.
I did, in fact, have a couple of questions handed me today, and I'm jumping slightly ahead, but the mention of Toulouse. This is a bit of a bitter question, if you like. This comes from someone called Eric, and he's seen us well beaten by Harlequins and Leicester last week, and he is very concerned that once again Toulouse will be a heavy defeat. Can we turn this around and really do something, or are the better teams going to keep putting 40 points on us?
Hopefully not. I mean, Toulouse, I played Toulouse down there a couple of times, and you know, they're renowned for throwing the ball around in a French style of rugby, but sometimes the Toulouse team doesn't turn up. You play a neat game against them, especially if you get parity up front, and we've definitely got that here at the moment. You know, we've got a great scrummaging team at the moment, and set pieces going really well. So that will give them lots of trouble. It's just making sure that our defence is pretty screwed on. And also, the boys going down there is actually rising to the challenge and not being fearful of a Toulouse team. because if you sit off them, then they start throwing the ball around and you can be under 40 points. So it's all about climbing into them, getting stuck right into them, kind of jolt their game a little bit, and you never know what can happen.
But before then, and picking up your point about parity in the scrum, we're still in the Premiership. Brett, as a forward, what influence has John Bray had on the forwards this year? It looks as though he's brought a few new things in. Would that be a correct assessment?
As players, we've noticed the massive changes in the scrum. He's our scrum coach, so we see parity there. I know he's behind the scenes doing a lot with Cole Hogg in terms of structure of training, structure of the week and things, which has helped. We're definitely training a lot harder as a forward pack in the last 2 seasons, definitely. So that's a good thing. You know, like the game last weekend against Leicester, it was won and lost different. And that's where we've been really good this season. It's just everybody's so disappointed that it came down to that when we've been dominant in those areas. But when we're talking about Saracens, Toulouse going forward, the forward pack has got to really step up and take the game to them and win it. And not respect teams and fear them, but really have a go at them. And I think when we're away from home, we've not really done that. We've almost played within ourselves. So that's one thing that we're all talking about at the moment, is that we've got to go away to like Toulouse and play our style and play our game and take the game to them and have confidence.
Well, you mentioned your own club Leicester last week. The impression I got watching from the stand was that it wouldn't have mattered who their opponents were. They were up for it and they were going to put all the hurts of the early season aside. I even get the feeling if New Zealand had turned up, they'd probably have beaten them. Did you get that impression?
Not really, because I played for Gloucester and I always expect us to win and expect us to dominate against teams even when we're out there, so I didn't really see that personally. People may disagree, but as a Gloucester player and as a team here, that we didn't fear them. We went there and tried to win, and they turned up because they needed to. They were desperate, so that's probably why we lost it.
That's fair enough. I'll also go to the other question that was handed to me. Sorry about scraps of paper, lads. This has got absolutely nothing to do with today's match or any other match. This one's quite straightforward. We've got big screens here now. As players, do you get distracted? Do you have a crafty glance now and again?
Maybe some of the vain guys do, and making sure, like Freddie Burns, making sure his hair's swept across. But myself, I don't really go on my looks. So the good thing about the screens, actually, and I'd imagine, especially for the leaders in the side, they can, if you do get a replay, you can see how that happened or whatever. But especially me on the wing, you can switch in and switch off to the crowd and stuff, and it's something that I don't really switch on to, and I don't really look at it. If I was on the bench, then I find it quite interesting to look at because you can't obviously see everything. But I think it's a great addition. I think it's quite clever how they put one of the screens right behind the away supporters. So lucky to them. But no, I think it's good. I think it's where the game's going now. We've got to get advertising up. We've got to have replays. You're paying this amount of money for a ticket. You deserve to have the best entertainment.
Fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to open it up to the floor before. I know these lads have got to rush off because they've got box duty. But is there anyone who would like to ask them a question? I don't think they mind what it is, provided it's about rugby. Obviously not. So I'll finish off then, lads, by asking you both. I know you're both going to go for a Gloucester win. Close or comfortable?
Well, I spoke to my mother, and she lives down in Cornwall, and it's absolutely pissing with rain down there, and I think she said it's on its way, so I'm going to say it's going to be very close.
Brett?
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say it'd be pretty close, within 10 points, I would say.
Well, I'm going to take your word particularly because the last time you were with me was against Worcester. You told me that we were much fitter than them and we'd see them off in the end, and you were right. So, a Gloucester win. And my thanks to Brett Deacon and Tom Voyce. Thank you, boys.